This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today. And let me tell you, all of a sudden things are kind of okay again in Oilers land, right? I sure heard a whole lot less complaining in the comments section last night after a win than we did after going 1-3, that second loss against Montreal. So is it crisis averted, or is there literally just a segment of Dolynny TV viewers that just come in to yell when it's bad and don't have anything good to say when it's good? I don't know. But that said, once again today, we've already done one player rave about Jesper Puljujärvi. We're going to do the player rave about the Oilers' best player through 5 games, and I don't think that's any kind of question mark. Realistically, maybe even the Oilers' best player in the last 32 games or so that he has played, Kailer Yamamoto. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the channel, take the next 9-10 minutes here to consider hitting that subscribe button, find out all about it, and we'll get going a little bit later on. I'll ask you for your thoughts in moments. So now the thing is, Kailer Yamamoto, well, why is he the Oilers' best player? Well, all the stats prove it here. Let's just go and give you this. So far through 5 games, that's how many games the Oilers have played to be 2-3-0 to start the year. He has 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. Now here's the thing that you can say about that second goal of the season that he scored. Well, he technically didn't score it, but guess what? Sometimes in the NHL you get rewarded for hard work, and that's a reward for hard work. You get a bounce going your way. So that was huge for Kailer Yamamoto there. And then all of a sudden you get into the other side of it too. +4. Kailer Yamamoto is a +4 on a team that isn't exactly lighting up the lamp by any means, isn't exactly doing things stellar and going out there and just demolishing offense. I mean, even his line hasn't been that phenomenal so far this season. So you also want to take that into consideration, that the Oilers, what have they scored? Let me see if I can get the standings and get you a total of how many ever goals they have scored. They have scored a total of 13 goals this year, and Kailer Yamamoto has factored into 4 of them. Alright, the Oilers have also given up 16 goals, and somehow here you have Kailer Yamamoto, who is a +4 on the season. He's had 6 penalty minutes, but again, a guy that plays aggressive, and he draws just as many penalties as he takes, which, you know what, at the end of the day, you'll even that up, because the Oilers' penalty kill, still a very good unit, and if the power play figures it out, Kailer Yamamoto even that much more valuable going into the deeper part of the season, when obviously, as we saw, 5 games in, it's gotten a little grittier, grindier, take your man a little bit more than you would have in the first 3 or 4 games, again, that being the 5th game against Toronto. Now you have, of course, things getting interesting as it develops later in the season. Kailer Yamamoto, the perfect player for that. He's not nicknamed the Honey Badger for no reason. Now, you get into the fact that everything he's done for the Oilers so far this season in the point scoring department is at even strength. That's a much improved thing for the Oilers, is having even strength players. Kailer Yamamoto, a key core of those players. Then you get into the fact here that once again everybody said, well, his shooting percentage 25% last year, that's unsustainable. Well, fast forward to this year, and we've got Kailer Yamamoto through 8 shots shooting exactly what he did last year at 25%. Now, it's only 2 goals, and technically speaking, he didn't shoot the last puck that went in for him, but again, right, you know what, you got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good sometimes, and we'll take it, and we're not going to complain about it. And if you are, well, I'm sorry, you're, again, missing the point. But you look at this, right, that's the interesting observation to keep going, is Yamamoto's not a guy that's out there shoot first, take the mentality, but through 5 games, he's got to step that up and really get it going, because you like that shooting percentage, right? If a guy's shooting 25%, you want him shooting the puck 4, 5, 6 times a game, and you maybe grease 1 or 2 instead of just maybe 1 every second game if he only takes 2 shots, right? 25%, 1 out of 4 times. Do you see where I'm going with that? Now, the other side, too, is Kailer Yamamoto through 5 games only has 14 total shot attempts. So that's almost 3 a game, and that's where he was about last year, 73 total shot attempts on 44 shots. The other side, too, time on ice is down a minute 40 from last season. It's an average of 17:23. He now is sitting at 15 41 to start this season through 5 games is Yamamoto. So again, right, there you go. An Oilers even strength player really being effective and getting the job done. You love to see that. He's only, again, like last year, taking one face-off. Unlike being 100% last year, he's only 0 for 1 this year. The blocks. This is where I really want to get into it for Kailer Yamamoto, right? The guy going to work, doesn't take a night off. Offense, defense, does everything you need him to. How about the block department? 9 blocks through 5 games for Kailer Yamamoto. You might remember last year, Kailer Yamamoto only had 13 blocks through 27 games. So you give him even 4 more games and he's going to blow that number out of the water. No question about it. That is insane to me as well, to watch a guy going up there, his size, his ability going out there and playing the penalty kill. That's what else we've seen him do. And, well, it's not like the Oilers are giving up power play goals at a historic high, so he's obviously doing something half decent on the penalty kill as well. The hits, well, that's Yamamoto's MO. He's a guy who is a small guy that can throw the body. And you know what? He had 45 hits through 27 games last year. How about 7 hits through 5 games? So anytime Yamamoto's a +1 in the hit column every single night, you're going to take that, especially if you've got him in your fantasy hockey team, because if you've got them counting hits, that really does help you quite a bit. And then don't forget a guy that creates turnovers. 3 takeaways through 5 games, only 2 giveaways, right? Those aren't numbers to write home about, but those aren't numbers that are costing you by any means. And here's the other thing I want to talk about is, right, the Corsi 4, the advanced analytics. These are a big flip from last year. For Kailer Yamamoto, the Corsi was around, right, exactly 50%, 49.99. So that's total shots, blocks, and misses for at even strength compared to shots, blocks, and misses against at even strength. Now operating on the plus side of 50 at 51.1% of the time. Those stat categories are in favor of the Oilers when he's on the ice at even strength. You get to the Fenwick, which just becomes essentially a shots and misses on ice statistic, so it's a little less fancy than Corsi. Well, how about 57.7% driving the play, shots and misses wise, on the ice at even strength for Kailer Yamamoto. That is, compared to those first 2 years where he kind of got his feet wet in 18, 19, and 19, 20, you know what? Those numbers, they weren't higher than 53%. They're at 57.7, but he's a guy that has a prior history doing these high numbers in the Fenwick category, with those 9 games back in 17, 18 doing 60.3% Fenwick 4 back then. So keep that in mind as well. And we talked about that plus minus. This is something I don't like hammering home too much on Dolynny TV, because plus minus is a skewed stat a little bit and you can argue many flaws within it, but this is the stat you can very much so argue for when it comes to Kailer Yamamoto, and why he is a plus minus is on ice goals against while at even strength, right? This is the big factor. The Oilers, well, they've given up 16 goals against at even strength so far this season. Kailer Yamamoto, guess how many stats he has in that goals against column? 1. A total of 1 goal against in a total of 70 minutes on the ice. So averaging less than a goal against per game at, well, a total of 70 minutes even strength. So that's crazy. Less than a goal against per game at even strength to open the season on this Oilers team that everybody's saying the Oilers are terrible. Well, I'm going to tell you, the secret to Mikko Koskinen being the world's elite goaltender is simply to have Kailer Yamamoto on the ice at even strength. How about a 97.1 save percentage for Mikko Koskinen? Well, the Oilers are at even strength with Kailer Yamamoto on the ice. You want to know where Mikko Koskinen is in leaking goals? When Kailer Yamamoto's on the ice. Does that make any sense to you? Well, it does now. Ladies and gentlemen, figured out there for you. And you look at kind of the situation here as to how it all boils down for Kailer Yamamoto. On a regular season, he's on pace for 74 points. And honestly, it's great to see kind of what he does with his points every night, contributing about 0.4 offensive points per night. Great to see. And you know what? For Kailer Yamamoto, just keep doing you, man. Like, this is fantastic. This is an exact extension of what he was doing last year, just with the fact that he knows he did it last year and succeeded. So I'm going to take it even harder, do it even better, and he's doing it all the way around you can better. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. That's your wrap on the Edmonton Oilers' best player through 5 games, Kailer Yamamoto. I am up on out of here.